What's up, Zone Nation, and thanks for joining me as I follow up on sharing my memoirs from South by Southwest in Austin, Texas. We went out there to rock the gospel. Meanwhile, Obama went out there to promote why the FBI should be able to conduct encryption code cavity searches. And you say we Christians are trying to run your lives.
I think what's happening. Propaganda.
Obama may not be the greatest president in the world, but he knows how to travel the road that the liberals have paved for him in the pop culture, and part of that is the tech culture. He gets a welcome mat from people to promote policy that erodes our rights because people are suckered into thinking they'll get something for it. He gets praised by the pop culture who wants him to bring the achievers down to size with the weight of regulations around their necks. And now these liberals are experiencing a glitch in their programming as Obama is talking about what regulations he's proposing for them. Something does not compute. I want to play some of what Obama said at the South by Southwest Interactive, and he's going to confirm what I've been trying to warn y'all about.
And the question we now have to ask is if, technologically, it is possible to make an impenetrable device or system where the encryption is so strong that there's no key, there's no door at all, then how do we apprehend the child pornographer? How do we solve or disrupt a terrorist plot? What mechanisms do we have available to even do simple things like tax enforcement? Because if, in fact, you can't crack that at all, government can't get in, then everybody's walking around with a Swiss bank account in their pocket. Right? So there has to be some concession to the need to be able to get into that information somehow.
Y'all, he is flat out telling you his interest isn't really about protecting us, it's about controlling us, and to make it more so where the government has the ability to violate our right to property. He wants to make sure that the government has access to your bank account and what you've worked for. You know something's wrong with it. It's not constitutional, but so much of the culture has been conditioned to embrace the self-righteous ideas of collectivism while not understanding why they're growing in discontent. But that's what's promoted and supported in pop culture, and South by Southwest is one of those mediums. And my band 20 Pound Sledge is just one of those little fish swimming around in a big pop culture pond. But I was blessed to have another conversation with a different South by Southwest attendee. He asked what kind of music my band does, and I told him that we're a Christian rock band. He said he used to be into that. I asked, he used to be into what, Christianity or rock music? He said he used to be a Christian, but he said, life experiences got me to thinking that, I don't really believe in religion, and considers himself spiritual. So we discussed the Bible over burgers. I asked him, do you believe the spirits or the spirit realm is a higher plane of existence? The question gave him pause. He hadn't really thought about it that much. There's a lot of people like this. I continue on saying that people aspiring to be spiritual would include the desire to mature spiritually, grow spiritually, and hope to ultimately evolve or graduate to a purely spiritual plane, right? He agreed. So I said that would mean that the spirit realm is a higher state of being than us, right? He agreed. So I asked, then what is spiritual to you? He attempted to give a definition, but didn't really know how. And there's a lot of people like this. And I say to y'all, just as I said to him, if the spirit realm is a higher plane of existence, then who are we to try to shape a higher plane of existence to suit our lower plane of thinking while assuming we could reach a higher plane from it? He gave that deep consideration. This is why God says don't create graven images and worship them. People will come to impose great horrors on others in the names of their so-called gods, which is really an idol of their own evil that justifies them to impose their selfishness on others with dogmatic authority. All that comes out of religion. Now the skeptics or even the haters will say that, doesn't your God do that? No, that's why God has the commandment, don't take my name in vain. Now, to his point about rejecting religion, I told him, I'm not religious. Jesus says, love God and love your neighbor as yourself. And if you love me, you'll keep my commandments. That's not religion. That's a relationship. Jesus didn't even say, if you worship me, keep my commandments. He said, if you love me. Meaning that love is your motivator to honor God's instructions to not steal, slander, covet, murder, commit adultery, or dishonor your parents. Long story short, we exchanged information and he said he enjoyed the conversation, as did I. Kingdom Seed Cast, right here in the middle of South by Southwest in Austin, Texas. These things are the hills and mountains of pop culture that are corralling people into a sinking valley. My band 20 Pound Sledge wants to counter these influences as it says in Isaiah 41:15. Behold, I make of you a new, sharp threshing sledge with teeth. You will thresh the mountains and pulverize them to dust and will make the hills like chaff. Thank you to my sledgers who support us with this. I'm Alfonso Rich with Zonation, and hopefully it will make sense to more conservatives to help support a band who you don't have to worry if their message is conservative or not as they work to connect the message and the culture as opposed to funding a person who's already a billionaire while not knowing if he's a conservative or not. Cavity searches.